take us to life, like when you first left, like America going to Brazil, like how much did you actually leave with when you left? You just said you was a barber and stuff. So when you left America for the first time, like what funds did you take? Like how much money did you leave with? Like, all right, I'm finna go, like I'm about to go to Brazil. I'm finna try this out and just, lead by faith. What was the steps that you did?
Believe it or not, bro, whenever I left, I had about, I think it was like $7,000 I had. But I had YouTube money coming in. It had been coming in for 3 or 4 months at the time. And so I was looking at the numbers of, okay, for you to live in Brazil, survival mode, for where I wanted to
Mhm.
live and to eat, no hanging out, none of that, just to survive, it was going to cost me somewhere around $1,000 at most a month. And I was looking at my first YouTube check. My first YouTube check was $9,000. Now, every YouTube check wasn't like that, but it was 9,000 and it hovered around 7 for a while. And so I was looking at, like, if I can maintain this for 3 months, I'm going to sell all this stuff and I'm just going to go. And so I'm the type of person, I just go and see what happened. I mean, hell, I had the money to get back if I needed to, and I still have my barber's license, and haircuts ain't going out of business no time soon. So the risk was okay with me.
So you mean to tell me you left America with $7,000? First of all, you already was doing YouTube before you even left America.
For a few months, I left in October 2022, and I started in around June or July 2022.
See, I follow your content. I never knew you already had a YouTube channel before you even left America. Because most people make a YouTube channel like soon as they get to the country and be like, I'm gonna start YouTube. So what was the content before you left? Like I never knew that. That's new to me.
So whenever I told you before that I went to Brazil because of the whole dating thing. And whenever
Hmm.
I got back, I got on TikTok and I was describing my dating experiences.
Hmm.
And there was a lot of people that was unhappy to hear that I felt like what I experienced there was better than in the States. And so I had got so much traction, and I was like, oh shit, this is my chance. If I can keep this traction and put it on YouTube, I can make money off of YouTube and I can go make more videos and vlogs from that country. So I did commentary videos over experiences of dating in America, or I was doing reactions to, or street interviews. And then, yeah, when I got out, I didn't start doing vlogs until I actually left, but I was already doing commentary content.
So basically you saying you left America, you went to Brazil, and when you went to Brazil, how long was your first trip in Brazil that you took? Like how long was the first trip? Like you left America, I went to Brazil. How long was you there for?
The first trip was 7 days, and that was during Carnival. And then my birthday in May, so about 3 months later, I went for about 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks for my birthday in May.
Hmm. So you've been 2 weeks and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
after 2 weeks, you made it a base. You made it a base for my research. You like made
Uh,
it a base, like you stayed there for a long term.
I did at some point, but that was later on around November. The first time I went just to try it out, see what it was like, I loved it. And I said, you know what? I had a better experience here. I'm just going to cut hair when I get back. I'm not going to socialize with nobody. And then every 3 months, I'm going to go back and, that's where I'm going to kick it. I'm going to work, work, work. And in 3 months, I'm going to kick it. But that second time was so good that I said, you know what? I need to figure out how can I stay down here permanently. I don't think every 3 months is going to work. And so from there, I went to Colombia in September of 2022,
Mhm.
and I stayed there for, was it maybe a week or 10 days? I stayed there around a week or 10 days, something like that.
So
And
you Colombia next. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. I like to take
yeah,
notes.
yeah. And then after that, I had told my family, I think the next trip I'm up out of here. And so I think it was October 16th or 17th, 2022. I bought a
Mhm.
one-way ticket to Bangkok, Thailand,
Mhm.
and that was nothing. What hit me emotionally the hardest was when I bought a one-way ticket from there to Brazil. And that's when I knew,
Mhm.
like, after that,
It gotta
There's no
work.
turning back. Yeah,
It
this
gotta
this
work.
has to work, and it's worked.
Exactly. So when you was in Brazil, like what made you think like you said you went the first time and then you went back. The first time was 7 days. The second time you went, what made you like was it a culture shock? What was the culture shock like? I know my first time going to place, it was just like I watched a live the other day. Like I ain't trying to get ahead of the story, but I watched a live the other day seeing Z, her first time ever leaving Africa, like that feeling that just like I'm out of here. Like, did you feel
Hmm.
that? Like, what was that feeling like when you first touched in Brazil, like leaving the country, just like I made it. Like, was it a culture shock? Like, and I want to hear that story though, like, cause I know how I felt when I did it.
Yeah, I mean, I flew in from Miami uh, to Rio, and that flight usually leaves, at least at the time it did, left around 8 p.m. and arrived around 5 a.m. And usually the sun is rising around, if you go around February, so you can see the Christ the Redeemer, and you can see the sun rising over the Christ the Redeemer. That's when it hit me like, damn, like I'm really in South America. Like I really left the country for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I got there, we're riding from the airport down through Laranjeiras, because that's where I stayed at the first time, and I could see that, like, wow, these people don't have as nice of roads as we have. The people are living in houses that look like what our houses look like 50, 60 years ago. That's in Rio. That's not all of Brazil, but in Rio.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started to hit me like, wow, like this is really, really, like I really made it here. And I remember just sitting on the beach in
No,
Copacabana, and I
that's
was
a
like,
hell of a
damn, like
feeling.
I'm really here. Like you really had that feeling of like, I can't believe that I'm really in another continent.
That's a hell of a feeling. That's a hell of a feeling. So your second time you went there, what made you like? You went to Brazil 2 times, and then you left and went to Colombia. How was Colombia like? How long was you in Colombia for?
Like I said, I think it was anywhere from 7 to 10 days. It wasn't longer than 10 days, but let's just say a week.
What part of Colombia was you in?
Medellin.
Medellin. So how did you like Medellin? Was it better than Brazil? Or Medellin was just
Absolutely
like a
not.
place. It was just one of them in and out.
Yeah, I mean, I've been twice. It's a fun city. It's unnecessarily dangerous. I think like Brazil is dangerous too, but it's a little more predictable. Colombia seems to be just random acts of violence, especially if you're going down there single and you're trying to like date. Like you have the women that are scoping dudes, but even if you're not even trying to date, there's still women that's scoping dudes in the mall. I heard it's
True, true.
just too much.
That's definitely true. I agree. So after you left Brazil, you went to Colombia. Then you said you went to Thailand. That's your third country. So how old was you when you was leaving these countries and stuff like that? You was what age was you?
22.
Oh my gosh, you was young. I know your mom was crazy on that. Brazil, we go to Colombia, and then you go all the way to Thailand. I meant to ask you while I was saying this stuff, like when you was living these places though, one thing that I do that what I'm gonna do is like ask rent, phone, internet, like basis of necessities that you need. Colombia based to Brazil, what would you think cost effectively? What did you spend like phone, internet, rent for the 7 days, 7 days, which is cheaper?
Uh, both trips for the first time I stayed, because it was two of us. We stayed in a two-bedroom. Two bedrooms, I believe, at that time for a week were somewhere around what, $500 a week around at both spots. So $500, $20 will last you a whole month. So really, I mean, you can go down there and put $10 in your phone. It'll last you a week if you go down there for that short. And what was the other one you asked?
Colombia, your second place.
No, I mean, so for about both, the cost of
And
living
then
is very
Thailand.
similar.
And then Thailand, like so they both the
Thailand
same,
is the
but
best. I mean, whenever I go to Bangkok, there's a hotel I stay at that's like a studio, similar to the one I'm in right now, and it's $17 a night. So I usually stay in Bangkok around 10 days. I spend less than $200 for 10 days at that studio. and I could put $20 on my cell phone there, and I think I get like 100 gigabytes or something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Threemo. Thank you, Threemo, for dropping Austin's channel and stuff like that. Like I said, it's a little bit early for us over here. I plan on doing some history stuff. I like when you do your history lives and stuff like that. I gotta pop on one of them. I'll be definitely in the history. First place in Thailand you went to was Bangkok.
Mm-hmm.
So how was Bangkok? How was the prices of living there?
I mean, Bangkok, I believe Bangkok is the capital city. Bangkok is not as expensive as it should be compared to the rest of Thailand. Like if you go to Phuket is it's almost like being in, it's almost like, no, I can't compare it to any American city, but it's like being in an African city. The Ubers are a little more expensive. The food is more expensive than the rest of Thailand for sure. Phuket is quite expensive. So I prefer Bangkok just because you get the big city life, the rooftop bars life, the huge malls, you know, a lot of stuff to do, a lot of expats, you know, 10 million people in Bangkok or 8 million or something like that. And you can literally, if you have a $800 a month social security check, you can actually go live a pretty decent life in Bangkok. I mean, you're not gonna be eating out, but you can cook, you know, for $800 a month, you can pay, you know, for a studio.
So I gotta go a sidebar, like, I meant to ask you, like, whenever you go to these countries, though, like for future travelers, like, what's the first thing that you have to do, and what's a necessity item that you carry with you, like as a content creator? Is it like a two-part question? Like, when you leaving Brazil, like, what did you have to do to get in Brazil? What was the cost for like visas and all this miscellaneous stuff? Like, and what do you travel with? And all this stuff.
So whenever I went to Brazil in 2022, at the time it was the year after COVID restrictions were starting to lighten up. So I had to fill out like a COVID slip or something like that, like a online pre-check thing. But at the time there was no visas for Americans. I know now they have a visa. And I was able to just buy a ticket and fly right into Brazil. I didn't wear any of my jewelry. You know, I pretty much just brought simple clothes. I didn't really bring much because the YouTube videos I was watching back then was telling me that I would have been robbed if I went down there. You know, true. So I brought very simple stuff compared to what I would have walked around with in the States.
And that was Brazil?
In Rio, yes.
So what about Colombia? What was the things that you've seen and heard about Colombia?
Colombia, you could fly right in as well, visa-free access. You could still wear your jewelry down there. I mean, maybe a watch, but I mean, the thing about both of those countries is those are both countries that, you know, somebody will pull up on a motorcycle and rob you at gunpoint. Never happened to me, but I know people it's happened to, and it does happen. Back into the channel, the rhythm is true. Hit the screen, join the flight. Come along for the ride through the night.